Hi Flosstube. As promised, this is the Flosstube Extra I was talking about. I'm going to show you a bit of my stitching space and my sewing room. I've already filmed this, but I'm scrubbing the first version of this because I forgot to turn the camera around halfway, so you'd be standing upside down to watch most of the video. But we'll have a wee re-record and see how it goes. So, comes to a couple of warnings. First off, as mentioned, I am not the tidiest of people. Let's just say it's chaos and be done with it. Call a spade a spade. So it will be there's going to be a mess to be seen, but it's an organised mess. I know where all my things are, and I'm happy with that. And that's, from my perspective, that's what matters. When I was a kid, my mother came to the conclusion very wisely that the best thing to do in my bedroom was to shut the door. Dirty clothes would emerge, dirty bedding would emerge, some clean clothes and clean bedding would arrive and would disappear, be absorbed. There was a clearly marked path from the door to my bed, and then every other space was well utilised. And really, I've not changed since then. Whatever there's space, I will do my best to fill it with all sorts of goodies. So, also, the other warning is enablement. You may be enabled to buy things after watching this, who knows, but I take no responsibility for what you do with your bank account. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this, have fun. I'm going to pause and switch you around. Right, that's us flicked round, so let's have a start. So here we are at my desk. As you'll see, a scary sampler sitting there because that's today's temperature stitching. Says there it is ready in my Lowry. As you can see, maybe a bit of knitting sitting there. That's a Stephen West piece I'm starting. For you knitters out there, this is the dotted ray scarf with an I-cord cast on. That was interesting, never done that before. So that took 2 or 3 attempts before that flowed onto the needle properly. Over in the corner here, let's try and keep my finger out of the way, and the laundry basket. There's an empty frame. That's what Supernatural used to live. That's my temperature stitching box down there. There's an embroidery or a crewel work kit in there from the Crewel Work Company. And some of my scroll frames. The blue one there, that's Blue Moon Fairy. I think that's Autumn Quakers by Rosewood Manor, which you'll see one day. Tala from Bella Filipina, and that's my Chatelaine Poison Garden Mandala. And there's some other project bags down there with the Lord alone only knows what in them. My desk. And there's my keyboard. Now down there, that's my DMC master set. There's some pip and chip blank bobbins there, and there's what's that? That's Cosmos stickers for putting on your bobbins, Cosmos thread numbers. There's a thread winder here. This is a handy thing. And these are my silks you've seen these before, Elizabeth Stevenson from Hands Across the Sea, the Queen of the May for this year. There's my 103. Lovely sound. Laptop and monitor. Yes, and there's my tablet. This is my Lowry setup. Well, that's my lamp, by the way. There you go. What else have we got? So if we swivel around a wee bit to behind where I sit, there's Saga waiting for some work today. Above Saga, that's my CXC master set and some various needle minders. So they're sitting there. That's where I work from for my full coverages that are not fully kitted. So I've started using that. And there's some other hoops there with some other projects sitting on them. What's that? That's oh, sorry, I've just covered you up. That's Pantini's one more chapter that you've seen in releasing it, plus Stephen King House from Witchy Stitcher. And there's a Pantini piece that'll go back in the frame later. I finished that banner last night, as you can see. So that will that's the word I'm looking for. That'll go back on later today probably. I've done my temperature stitching and Saga. So this is the trolley that sits behind me. This is one of 3 trolleys I have. I'm not going to try and delve into the depths of it. I don't feel that brave. There's some things I'm better not doing in public when you lot are watching. That's Amphitrite sitting there from Bella Filipina in my scroll frame. You've seen her before. Behind her is lurking Blackwater Siren stitched along, which I must get to. And there's someone down. No, it's just an empty Q-snap down there. That's my needle need stand. I love my needle need stand, and there's a scroll frame on there just now. Nice sunny day. This has got mermaids on it. You've seen, well, mermaid, the letter E for Ellery, who lives that side of me. And that's, there's my car in the drive. We've got a sunny day all of a sudden. Car, this is a wee picture, wee view of where I live. Looking out the one of the windows in here, with 2 windows. You can see it's bin day. Yes, Carol is busy with pictures of my birthday. And that's Carl's collection of Blu-ray, or some. That's a small segment of his viewing things. So down here I've got some more stitching stuff. There's some more scroll frames. That's my lamp that I use when I'm recording. I'll stick my phone in there. And there's other projects sitting down there. This one that's kind of raggled together. What's that? That's a Thomas Kincaid piece from Heaven and Earth Designs. That's Santa's Workshop, which is coming along nicely. One day that might get pulled back out to work on again. That was days before I found gridded fabric. So as you can see, that's my area there. Lovely and messy, but I like it. I feel at home. This is Carl's area with the pink chair and the pink fluffy thing. It's a pencil, I think it was. One day we picked that up in Sainsbury's, only because he saw that fluffy thing and could not walk past it. He's a lot tidier than me, as you can tell. Although he does like a cable or two. Anyway, that's in here, so I'm going to put you in pause a minute while we move through. To the sewing room. And this is the sewing room. Quick pan around, and then we'll have a wee tour. So, what's in here? So that's my cutting area for fabric when I'm making bags. You have the quilting rulers there. There's a cutting mat and my rotary cutter. That thing is lethal. Behind the door we have some full coverage things kitted up. Not all by any manner of means, but this is just some of them hanging up there. Some are started, some are not. And there's a space there. Oh, I get somebody else hung there. I got a hook up there. There's more hanging off the drawers here. Told you, wherever there's a space, I will use it. That's just wadding and interfacing working there. Some fabrics, some more fabrics. What's down here? There's more wadding. That came today. There's about 5 metres of fusible fleece in there for bags, and that's the envelopes I used to when I'm sending them out. Those are the shelves of surprises that I've been plucking from. Up top are my finished objects that are not yet fully finished. That bag's got a William Morris quilt top in it that I made some years ago. I just haven't done anything else about turning it into a quilt. You might see that one day. I'll probably show you it. Going down, that's a pile of charts in there that we'll have a walk through. Some Lavender and Lace, some Mirabilia, Teresa Wentzler, and all sorts of other goodies. Then we've got some bobbin boxes from the days I bobbinated before I knew better. Well, for me, before I knew better. I know bobbins work for a lot of people. I do prefer floss drops myself. But horses for courses, as they say. And there's all sorts lurking down there. There's some wool for my knitting and my crochet. You all know I love my knitting and my crochet. And then we've got, this is just my CDs, my CD collection, my music collection. I'm an ABBA fan, so there's some ABBA up there. And then there's a huge range of classical music from 15th, 16th century up to certainly up to the 20th. I have a wide and varied taste. There's a picture there of Joe Abercrombie, whose books I like. Some more ABBA stuff. And then down here we've got fabrics and books and threads for the sewing machine. Oh, that's my scrap bag of fabrics I want to turn into, if I start stitching all them together, I can make a scrappy project bag or 10. Not 2, 10, definitely 10. There's plenty of fabric in there. That's some more stitchy stuff there. And there's some scroll rods lurking. And there's World Peace Angel. And that's my massive scroll rods that I'm going to put Treasure Hunt bookshelf on one day, supersized max colour, that you've heard me talk about. At the back wall there is something that hasn't seen the working light of day for a long time. That's a Victorian needlepoint kit from the book sitting in front of it by Beth Russell. I kitted that up many years ago when I was working at the Royal Bank, it was. So that would have been about 10, 12 years ago or so. There's a Amy Stuart print of Treasure Hunt bookshelf pinned to the wall there. It's like a tapestry print style thing. And there's some more threads kitted up there. I can't remember what they are now. I suspect that's supersized tiger family, I think. These boxes, I was in Edinburgh yesterday, as you remember I was saying. Carl had an appointment of some sort. So I had a wee walk. Once I dropped him off, I had a wander around one of the big Asdas. Free parking and all that. You see, the parking in Edinburgh is an absolute nightmare. So I got myself some storage boxes. I thought I could put my fabrics in those. Oh, this phone is balancing very precariously my fingers at the moment. So there's some of them in there. They fit just nicely. It's a shoebox size thing, it says, but I'm not putting shoes in that. I've got fabric I want to put in there. That's my gridded fabric, and underneath there, those are the cassettes that when I go shopping, when my master sets of DMC or CXC run out. Well, let me take you down there so you can see what I'm talking about. Aye, there we are. I'll get my finger out the way. Aye, so that's those down there, and that's just a wee carry case thing for when if I'm going away for a stitchy day somewhere. Music centre in the corner, that used to be my mother's, and then I acquired that. It migrated up here. There's a bag of Q-snaps down there as well. There's a space, waste not, whatnot. Now there's my project you've not seen. This is a Teresa Wentzler project that I finished, which you're not going to see very well in this light. One day I will take it down and we will talk about it, because I'm really pleased with this one. This is Fantasy Sampler. So you get an idea of what's going on there, but we'll take it down and we'll have a chat through it one day soon, I think. That was my first ever Teresa Wentzler piece and my third ever cross-stitch project in the days of when I was a monogamous stitcher. Now we all know that those days have long sailed. What else have we got? So there's a wee pile of CDs sitting there. I was listening to some Praetorius recently. Maybe music centre there, and there's a pile of books waiting to be read. A small selection. On the window ledge there's my monthly cushions that I made. These are from the Heart by Wendy, Quaker cushions. So there's January sitting on top. I guess because against the window you're not seeing them in all their glory, but you get the idea what's working there. Now there's a back garden with Carol's wonderful glittery fence. And the clematis in the corner's doing well just now. My chair when I sit and read, when I get the chance, and there's zips for bags lurking there, and that's my Cosmo threads hanging over the back. They're all organised now and by number. There's more scroll rods in the back there. There's London sitting at the back and somebody else in front. Christmas Angel from Lavender and Lace is sitting down there. These are forwards now because my plugs are there for my sewing machine and my iron. So because I'm going to be busy with that later today. That's my Pip and Chip bobbins in here. Some are out because they're in use somewhere. That's a full set of them. Another storage solution. Well, the storage space, I will use it. There's another Amy Stuart print up in the wall. I think that's steampunk bookshelf. I'm sure I've got something like that as a chart. Heaven knows when I'll stitch that, but I like this print and it looks well on that wall. Fabric cut here for bags. This is a task for today, to turn this little pile into some bags. Some people have been in touch with me since Sunday's update, and so you may recognise your bag fabric sitting here, waiting for action. There's a sewing machine, there's the workhorse. Brilliant machine that. I'm sure I don't use it to its full potential, but it does what I need it to do. Karen, if you're watching this, you may recognise that little heart hanging up there. You made at the start of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. More kits, more full coverages kitted up. Working there. Oh, and that trolley. So the top tier of that trolley's got fabrics in it, cross-stitch fabrics. The next one down is glitter vinyl and the sidebars for my scroll rods. And down below that, there's just offcuts of the fusible interfacing that I use to piece for like the wee strip along the top of a bag above the zip. And my other trolley contains, well, you see it all. There's fabrics. There's some wool there as well, with a swift and winder to turn it from hanks into balls. And that's the sewing room. As I said, it's absolute messy chaos, but I love this room. It brings me joy. So there you go, and there's the wonderful shelves. Right, as a final, before we finish off, I'll show you the cupboard. So this is what is affectionately known amongst us all as the Cupboard of Doom. This is where my project bags all live, in these crates or tubs or whatever you want to call them. There's my Elizabeth Stevenson bag that I made recently that you've seen. And oh, there's lots in there. There's some more crewel work kits up top. There's no lighting in this cupboard, so It's what you see is what you see. We've got a pile of loos. We have 4 loos in this house, so we just need to keep them stocked up. Yeah, there's only 2 of us, but we have 4 loos. More kits hanging up, waiting to be worked on. Some started, some not. Oh, there's is that Witchwood Express, I think, which is not started yet. Catherine, you got that in the go, I'm sure. There's a space there for a hook. I could add another hook in there. We're going to Asda today. Possibilities. Right. So I think that's everything I want to share with you on that just now. Any questions about what I've got here or what I use for my storage solutions? Storage solutions, he says. Must be joking. Just pop questions below and we'll see what happens. I should be able to answer them for you. Anyway, until Sunday when we meet again for my weekly update, that's everything, folks. So happy stitching. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.